Another year has come and gone oh so quick, which means it's time to reminisce on 2024 and talk about the year's top 10 best movies. Throughout the first 6 to 8 months, I'll be honest, I wasn't that impressed with the movies I had seen up to that point. My list wasn't looking so strong, and that had me worried. 2023 was a disappointing year in my opinion, so getting 2 average film years in a row would be a huge bummer. Luckily though, the last few months picked up the pace, and now I can officially say my top 10 list is satisfying. There are still several 2024 movies I would like to watch, such as The Brutalist, September 5th, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, etc. to potentially add on here. However, I'm not gonna wait another couple weeks to do so. I feel happy about my current top 10, and hopefully once I see everything else I want to from this year, it will further cement 2024 as a very good year for movies. Anyway, let's waste no more time and get right into it. Starting with... Alright, The Fall Guy was a great way to kickstart the summer blockbuster season. It's really frustrating this film didn't hone in at the box office because it deserved to make bank. Ryan Gosling steals the show as he usually does, playing a stuntman in The Fall Guy, a character who's also extremely relatable. The action sequences are top notch, it's really funny, and the midway reveal got me hooked. The Fall Guy overall is an easily rewatchable film that I could see myself throwing on many more times down the road. Saturday Night gets the 9 slot. Funny enough, I didn't have a whole lot of interest in going to see this one. I'm not an SNL fan by any means, but I really had a great time watching Saturday Night. From start to finish, it's a full-blown anxiety attack. It moves like a locomotive with little stoppage. The acting is phenomenal. Corey Michael Smith as Chevy Chase. I mean, let's get more from this guy, please. But mainly what this film did well was sparking my interest in old SNL. For anyone who isn't a fan of the show like myself, I'm sure you'll experience the same phenomenon after Saturday Night. Dune Part 2, a sequel better in nearly every way over the original. Now, a lot of people will have this ranked top 3 of the year. I have it at 8 because despite being an epic cinematic experience, Dune 2 doesn't reach its full potential thanks to the lack of an R rating and slower pacing. Nonetheless, I give credit where credit's due to Mr. Denis Villeneuve for crafting another sci-fi spectacle. Between the cinematography, ferocious score, spectacular cast, and edge-of-your-seat filmmaking, Dune 2 is the type of movie I desperately wish I had the chance to see in IMAX. Late Night with the Devil is one of the best found footage movies I've seen in a while. The combination of horror elements with a cursed late night talk show episode on tape is what makes this truly stand out. Add in David Dastmalchian's well-deserved leading performance, with a few twists I didn't see coming, and you have yourself a great film. If you still haven't seen Late Night with the Devil, I highly recommend checking it out. Initially, I had it in my top 3, but then I saw a couple other greats this year, including... Yeah, Nosferatu is vintage Robert Eggers. I can't imagine anyone else taking on this project and getting as much out of it as Eggers does. The performances are some of the year's strongest. The more I think of Bill Skarsgård's Count Orlok, the more he becomes the standout character of the year. From start to finish, Nosferatu is chilling, much scarier than what the trailers led me to believe, and is the idealistic remake of the 1922 original. Alright, real quick before we continue this countdown, make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on all notifications for upcoming videos. Now let's get back to the list. We're keeping the vampire genre going at number 5 with Abigail. Talk about movies that deserve better box office numbers in 2024. Maybe it was marketing's fault for not keeping the vampire stuff a secret in trailers, but either way, I had a blast with this one. Between Nosferatu and Abigail, 2024 might be the best year for vampires in cinematic history. Both showcase vampires as bloodthirsty monsters, while incorporating scares that most vampire films can't seem to replicate nowadays. Although I enjoyed Abigail slightly more over Eggers' remake simply due to pacing. There's never a dull moment here. The cast helps keep it entertaining as hell, and they go balls to the wall with the gore. Thank you, Radio Silence, for not holding back. The love triangle tennis film by Luca Guadagnino, Challengers, makes my top 4. When a romance movie is done right, you have my attention. But when you pair an intriguing love triangle story with riveting tennis matches, I'm locked in. This is possibly the year's most tense movie. They had me gripped for the entirety of Challenger's runtime, and it culminates during the finale when our two male leads have a mesmerizing tennis match. The story is unpredictable, Challenger's techno beat score is one I've listened to on repeat. All in all, if you love romance and sports movies, this is absolutely up your alley. Anora lands at number 3. This very well could be the best all-around movie of 2024. I wouldn't be surprised if it took home Best Picture. What Anora delivers is fleshed out, realistic characters, phenomenal performances. Mickey Madison is 100% getting nominated for Best Actress, there's no doubt about that. It has hilarious dialogue at times, and the story is gut-wrenching. Many will relate to Anora's experience to some degree. I can see this hitting close to home for lots of people. And I do agree this is basically a Safdie brothers film. They're able to dig deep into that anxiety-style driven filmmaking that the Safdie brothers do so often, which was honestly such an unexpected turn following Anora's first act. This was my number 1 film up until today, to be honest, but I think I like 2 others slightly more. A film that surprised me the most this year was Transformers 1. I seriously didn't think this would be good at all, so silly me decided to skip catching it in theaters, which ended up being a big mistake. The movie tells not one, but 2 great stories. I never thought an animated Transformers film could make me care so much about its characters, but oh boy it did, and then some. It has fantastic action sequences, is even brutal at times, and made me laugh a whole bunch too. I just can't believe they were able to pull off what Transformers 1 became. It's hands down top tier storytelling, and I highly doubt Transformers could ever get better than this. The only movie I truly have not been able to take my mind off since watching it though, is The Substance. Just when I thought the film had reached its crazy limit, it took it another step further, followed by another. The Substance is a wild ride. As a big fan of body horror, this movie provided everything I'd want to see in that department. It's such a gross, disturbing film, but I loved every second. However, it's not just the unsettling out-of-nowhere moments that got me loving The Substance. It's also a movie that has a lot to say about beauty standards, obsession, aging, and self-worth. If you ask me, I don't think I can name anything more original that came out in 2024. So for all of those reasons, The Substance is my number 1 movie of the year. Okay, well, thank you all so much for sticking around till the end of my top 10 2024 best movies list. It was a great year. I appreciate all of you who watched me. Thank you so much. It means the world, truly. 2025 will be the best year yet for this channel, so I'm excited. Guys, make sure you comment your top 10 films of the year down below. And if you enjoyed this ranking, please consider giving my video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all in the next one. See you then.